Be sure to check the timestamps in the description to easily navigate the video. And welcome back to Lycan Studios. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. So, no lie, I just finished recording this whole Q&A and forgot to hit record on my camera. I really thought it was going. I think like I hit the record button actually and woke it up, but then it didn't start recording. So, I'm pretty salty, I'm not gonna lie, but nonetheless, Lila is sleeping on the couch right now, so I'm definitely gonna be cutting this video to go out and check on her and stuff. So, do apologize for all the cuts, but nonetheless, I just wanted to get this video out there, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. So, I do have a few things that I gotta say real quick before we get into the Q&A. Number one is that a huge shout out goes to Eric Rawling for the channel shout out of the day. I just want to say I really appreciate it. Everybody say you're fantastic. It just means a lot. Always liking, commenting, subscribed, obviously, just all the cool stuff. They're doing it. So thank you so much. And the next one goes to my man Homer Demand. He actually upped his pledge on Patreon to $5. So he's going to be on this little bar now. And I just want to say I really appreciate it. I really truly appreciate it. It means a lot just that you guys, you know, want to like donate and stuff like that just to help me keep this channel going and helping me get better equipment and stuff like that. It really means a lot. So I'm definitely going to be working hard to make sure that you guys are getting some cool exclusives. So if you guys haven't checked out the Patreon page, definitely check it out. And last but not least, we got to talk about my other monitor real quick. So it's got this article on there from time.com that is talking about Emilia Clarke's last scene as Daenerys Targaryen. So we got to read over it. It's definitely controversial. A couple people sent it to me this morning, especially Mel of Winterfell. We were talking about it a little bit, so huge shout out to her. But nonetheless, let's read about it. It says, in an interview with Vanity Fair that was published on Wednesday, Emilia Clarke seemed to hint that Daenerys Targaryen's last scene will almost certainly be controversial. It effed me up, she said, of shooting her character's final on-screen moments. Knowing that it is going to be a lasting flavor in someone's mouth of what Daenerys is, the transformation of Daenerys is the greatest gift I've been given as an actor, 100%. Daenerys is so much a part of who I am, and I am so much a part of who she is, so it's this incredibly frightening thing to walk away from, but at the same time, unbelievably exciting. Now, I think that second part was actually from a couple days before, but it kind of just ties it in on this article. But yeah, that's like very weird. So I can definitely see why it would mess her up. I mean, all these actors and actresses have been doing these characters for so long that it would definitely be sad and bittersweet and heartbreaking all at the same time to shoot your last scene as this character. Now, this doesn't mean, I've tried to explain this to you guys, it doesn't mean that she's done filming. Just like her final scenes as Daenerys Targaryen that we're going to see is done. So she could definitely still go back and start shooting, you know, stuff at, you know, King's Landing, or she could be done. I don't know. But nonetheless, like, you guys just have to realize they do not do this in order. Just because they shoot something doesn't mean it's going to go in chronological order with the show. I'm trying to tell you guys that. So when I was talking about how Dany could already be dead in the show, you guys were like, no, she still has to film. That doesn't mean anything. It could be for previous episodes. Like, she could have just already shot what she needed to shoot for the final episode when she dies, and then go back and shoot, you know, episodes 1 through 5. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain that to you guys. But nonetheless, I feel like this is weird. What do you guys think about it? Just saying that this is going to be the lasting flavor in someone's mouth of what Daenerys is and effed her up, like, I don't really know. Like, I'm hoping she just means, like, this is going to be the last thing that people ever see of Dany, like, throughout the show, and it's kind of messing her up because she knows she won't get to play this anymore. Like, maybe that's what it is, or it could just be she died. I really don't know. Maybe she's letting power go to her head or something on the show. Like, I really don't know, but definitely let me know what you guys think. I'm probably going to use it for the title of the video. I don't really know if I said that already, but nonetheless, definitely let me know what you guys think. Let's jump into the Q&A. Finally done rambling. All right, so for the Q&A, of course, I'm just going to have all my questions pulled up on the left side of the monitor, so I will be looking over there a lot. But anyways, the first one is from My Jolly Sailor Bold. Do you think Qyburn is working with Varys via their Little Bird connection against Cersei, and for whom? Do you think Qyburn created the mountain so when he can and has the chance, he can order him to kill Cersei? He, in the beginning, was loyal to the Starks, so why did he change sides later? Who is he actually, a Tarbeck, a Rhaen, or someone else? So, honestly, I don't think Qyburn is working with Varys. I think Varys actually will be a good guy. I think somehow Varys is going to turn out to be a good guy, which would be pretty crazy because he's been really sketchy this whole time. So, I think Varys will be a good guy, and I think Qyburn's a bad guy. I think he's working for Cersei. I can't see him turning on Cersei. The only person I could see that would overthrow her would be Euron. So I think it will kind of just play out that way, but you never know. We'll see what happens. So question number 2, we have Virginia, the lovely Virginia. Great video as always. Thank you for being here through the long night. Q&A, what role do you think that the Iron Bank will play in Season 8? Love your videos and always watch. I really appreciate it. You're awesome. But nonetheless, I think the Iron Bank will probably just continue to back Cersei. I think that as of right now, it would look like Cersei is going to... well, no, that's not true because of all the dragons and stuff with Dany. But I still think the Iron Bank will probably just continue to back Cersei for right now. In the end, they may turn on her, but I don't know. That one's just so iffy too. So many of these questions and stuff, I'm just so 50-50 on all of it. But if I had to say it, I would say that the Iron Bank probably just sticks with Cersei until she is killed. That's probably what I think is going to happen. Next up, we have my man Mustpuss. He says, sorry I was so late for this one, brother. Been so busy. It's all good, dude. Yes, very good video. Again, I have a question. Where is Jorah's character heading next season? I have some ideas. Possibly dying in place of his queen, or maybe becoming head of House Mormont or King and Queen's Guard if Johnny or Dany get the throne. My cat's about to hop up on my lap. Come on, buddy. I don't know if you guys can see him. This is Mr. Jax. Oh. Wow. There he is. I think you hit the nail on the head right here, man. I think he's going to die for Dany. That would be my first guess. He's going to die, and it's going to be one of those things where, like, he always loved Dany. Dany didn't really love him like that, but thought very highly of him, and she's going to be super sad, but I don't know. I think he's going to end up dying for her. And if not, he would definitely continue to do what he does, which is basically being a king, or which is basically being a Queen's Guard for Dany right now. So I think you definitely hit it right on the head. Next up, we have Free Will. He says, what about the Horn of Winter? I think they will end up using it during season 8, but I think I could be wrong. What are your thoughts? So honestly, that is a very powerful, it's a very powerful horn. I don't feel like they're going to introduce it with only 6 episodes left. It's definitely too powerful. They would have to figure out some way to get around it and stuff like that. I don't really know too much about it, but I just know that I don't think they're going to bring it into the show. I really just don't see it happening. I think they just have too much to deal with. One of the dragons is already dead, so I just don't feel like it's coming. I think Euron would have already said something about it, or we would know that he has it already. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the Horn of Winter. So next up, we have my man Wilson. Shout out to him. We have the question: will the whole Dorne storyline somewhat of a bust to fans? With the whole Dorne storyline somewhat of a bust to fans, I'm curious, do you think they should play a part in the final battle against the dead at King's Landing? They have fresh troops, killed dragons, and are a part of Westeros. Also, Dornish were supposed to be picked up to be dropped off. If Ellaria Sand is still alive and Yara, I think their plan will still work in attacking King's Landing. Honestly, I think the whole Dorne storyline's dead. Like, a lot of people really thought that was a bust, like you said, so I don't feel like they're going to touch on it again. I think that they're just going to kind of leave it. They may bring up Dorne again once they're kind of splitting kingdoms and stuff at the end, possibly, but I really just don't feel like Dorne's coming back. I think we kind of already have what we have, but I could be wrong. You never know, but I think it's done, probably. Warrior King says, another brilliant vid, so many loose ends to tie up. Which one way or another I hope Dan and Dave do with season 8. Do you think the Blood Ravens agenda is more than we know? I do think something about Bran will be an oh my god pivotal moment, as well as Melisandre. Whatever happens, I want to see epic, brilliant TV. Thanks for another cool upload. Thanks, man. I 100% agree. I think we definitely need some epic, brilliant TV. I think Bran is just going to be a big supporting role, kind of like Melisandre, but Melisandre brings in like the prophecies, the Lord of Light, resurrections, and all that stuff. So I think something is actually going to be bigger with Melisandre than it will with Bran. I still just think he's going to be a very big support role, possibly gathering information that they need to figure out and stuff like that. Like, I think you got to kind of ask Bran the right questions so he can find out the answer. Melisandre seems to already have a lot of answers for questions they don't even know yet, if that makes sense. So kind of feel like she's going to play a bigger role and Bran is just going to kind of just be a supporting role. I don't really think he's the Night King or anything like that. I did enjoy that theory a lot when I first got into this stuff, but I just think he's going to be a big supporting role. Definitely let me know what you guys think, because they are definitely some of the most controversial characters that we have to figure out on season 8. Next up, we have Effie Rebecca. She says, was that chair $3.99 from PewDiePie? No, it was actually from Amazon. It is an Arazi. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's an Arazi brand. I think it actually might be Swedish. Is PewDiePie Swedish? I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely a cool chair. I highly recommend them. Like, get you a racing chair seat if you are on the computer a lot. They're so comfortable, can't beat it. All right, Augusto says, we're going to kind of skip through it. It says, question, what would your ideal finale? What would your ideal finale be as for the main characters and some of the other ones? Take care, man. Great vid. Thanks, buddy. So you guys kind of know how I feel. I want the 5 core characters to survive. I want Jon and Dany to survive. I just see it happening. Even though, like, a lot of people think Dany's going to die, they say, like, if you think it's going to be a happy ending, then you haven't really been paying attention. Well, I just feel like, I don't know, like, my ideal finale would be them to live, but if Dany had to die, which I think she would die before Jon, but I could be wrong, just please don't make it during childbirth. Like, I think that would devastate so many people, and they made, like, Dany's this character where, like, I really think, I'm not a woman, but I think, like, I think she could really like hit home with women who watch this show. Like, she is so strong and independent, and for her to just die during childbirth, I think would be a waste. It would honestly be a waste and kind of stupid, but nonetheless, I just hope she lives, and if she doesn't, please make it awesome. Like, let her go down fighting. I don't know, let something absolutely awesome happen. But nonetheless, I feel like she's got to have the baby. We know she's pregnant, obviously, and she's got to have the baby. I feel like she has to have it, so the baby will live. Hopefully she will live. I don't want another kid born without a mom. Like, they just put Jon through all this crap, so I don't really know. But nonetheless, main character's living. I think Jaime's gonna die, Cersei's gonna die, Brienne's kind of hit or miss. I hope Bronn lives, and the rest of them are just kind of 50-50. I could see it going either way. Next up, we have my man Justin. He says, I don't know what the topics of your questions are, but my question is, who would win in a fight, Khal Drogo or the Mountain? I love questions like this, like very kind of, I don't know, different questions. So nonetheless, Khal Drogo, 100%. Like, Oberyn would have beat the Mountain if he wasn't showboating around and stuff. He could have finished him off so easily, I feel like, and he didn't even look like he hardly broke a sweat. So could you imagine Oberyn fighting Drogo? Like, I just don't see him beating Khal Drogo. Khal Drogo was a monster. Like, he just moved so swiftly. We only seen him fight like maybe once or twice, maybe just the one time, but he was just a beast. I don't see the Mountain taking him out. Next, we have Barcy, the bearded last of his name. I like that name. A nice beard. I see it in your picture. Do you think the Isle of Faces is going to play an intimate part in the endgame at all? So this is another one that I'm kind of 50-50 about. I don't know if they're going to be bringing in new places. They definitely should, and I definitely want them to. That's about all I can say. If it does, they could definitely use some huge like plot twists right there, and stuff could definitely go down. So I can see him doing it. I hope they do it for sure. Next up, we have Amber. I've been seeing her a lot lately, so I want to say I really appreciate it. If you're kind of new to the channel, I think you are, but nonetheless, I really appreciate it. She says, Q&A, what do we see? Yeah, what do we see as the end game for our favorite little Lannister, Tyrion? And do you think Ghost will die? Honestly, I really like the theory about the direwolves and their humans. So if Jon lives, which I think he will, I think Ghost will too, and I think it'll be really cool. Basically, the only other one we have is Nymeria, and she's kind of running around in the wild. I could see her actually coming back and dying for, you know, Arya somehow. But I hope Ghost lives, and I think he might. I think he might just live. Especially if Dany's gonna die, they can't take out Ghost too. Jon will have nobody except Sam, and I mean, Sam, he kind of has a baby now, so they're going to grow apart. It happens. But nonetheless, for little Tyrion Lannister, I don't think he's going to turn. I think he will go out as a good guy if he dies. I think he'll live probably. He's just too smart to really die. I feel like, I think he will not turn on, you know, Dany and Jon. A lot of people think he will, but if Jaime is coming to like help the North, which it looks like he is going to, that just makes me believe that Tyrion really won't switch. Like, maybe he finds out that Cersei's pregnant and he wants to like help the kid, but I really don't think that kid's gonna be born. So I feel like Tyrion goes out as a good guy. They can't make him look bad, man. He's already had a tough life as it is. Had to kill his dad and stuff, and just everything that's went down. Like, they just can't do it to him. Please don't. Next up, we have Nexus Q&A. Any plans for a collaboration in the future? Have any other YouTubers reached out to you yet? Best moment of this video was a kid laughing in the background. I really appreciate it. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, should I really put that stuff in there? Should I try to just make it a clean video? But I just look over and like, Lila's my world. So when she does something cute like that, I kind of just want to share it with you guys. It's pretty cool. But nonetheless, collaborations in the future. So Azor Hype has actually reached out to me about doing a collaboration. Hopefully we can get that set up pretty soon. We're just busy. Like, everybody's so busy. I have a super busy schedule. So, but yeah, it's really hard to get on the same page with everybody else, just because of my schedule. Like, especially it just got worse because Jessica is actually doing her field placement now. So I have Lila pretty much every day that I'm not at work. That's not a weekend. So it's kind of tough, but I don't know. I'd definitely like to. I think he's actually at Con of Thrones right now. So shout out to him. I know you guys like help donate to, like, I don't even know the whole story. I kind of caught pieces of it. Like, I think Secrets of the Citadel, you guys like help get her there and stuff. Like, that's just awesome. Those are definitely two of my favorite YouTubers, and they definitely deserve to go to the Con of Thrones more than anyone. So huge shout out to them. I would love to work with either one of them, but as of right now, there's nothing really in the works, I guess, officially. Muspo says he forgot his question. What are your thoughts on Beric and what he said to Jon Snow? The Lord of the Light, or the Lord of Light, has a purpose for us both. Does this suggest that Jon doesn't have long left? I don't think so. I feel like they could bring, I don't know, they could bring the Lightbringer into it. That's possibly what he means. It is just something cool for Beric to say because obviously he is a vessel of the Lord of Light. He could give him his life. I feel like if Beric dies, he will give him like the kiss of life or whatever. I forget what they call it in the books. I feel like he's kind of like the Stoneheart, the Lady Stoneheart of the show. So I feel like they may kind of tie that together and like let him give his life to somebody, possibly Dany. That would be pretty cool. Like, what if she dies during childbirth and Beric's like, oh, here you go, here's my life, and she comes back. I don't know. Definitely be interesting. Then we'd have 2 Targaryens who had a baby and they were both brought back. So I don't know. Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Next up, we have Sheza or Shiza. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. Shezaiah. I don't know. We'll go with Sheza. Could Ilaria Sand still be alive? I'm sorry if I butcher your guys' names. I can't pronounce stuff. Like, you guys should hear me. I'm a nurse trying to talk to doctors and stuff. I like got to ask them to repeat it so many times. I'm like Southern West Virginia. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I don't even hardly speak English very well. So how can I understand anything else? But nonetheless, could Ilaria Sand still be alive? I feel like Dorne's kind of done. I told you guys in one of those last questions, or one of the last answers to one of the last questions, Dorne, I just feel like they're done. I don't feel like Dorne's coming back at all. I think they're kind of just going to shut that down. So even if she is alive, do I even really care if she's alive? Not too much, because she killed a girl. She killed a little girl. Like, she should be dead, honestly. Just kill her. That's how Then we have my man Xyrus. Oh, and Q&A. A question: if you can mix any other show or movie with Game of Thrones, which would it be? I would mix Star Wars with it. Now, that's a very interesting question. I've been watching the hell out of some Supernatural lately, so if you could kind of get like 2 guys set in the Game of Thrones times where they're going around trying to like figure out what's going down with like certain species of things and like certain mysteries and stuff, hunting them down and killing them, I think that would be pretty dope. But Star Wars would definitely be awesome too. I don't really know how that would go, but it'd be cool. Next up, we have Jaina, or Jana. I think it's Jaina. Do you think it might be Cersei's trial in the Dragon Pit? I mentioned that in one of my last videos. It definitely could be. It could be a funeral of some type. I'm not too sure what's going down there. It could just be like another summit. Could be where they start divvying up what goes down. It could have just been Cersei might not even be at the Dragon Pit. It could have just been a big diversion because Jaqen H'ghar was there, the Waif was there, the Night King was there. That whole thing is just confusing. I can't really look into it too much. I think it's a diversion. That's like my final thoughts. But yeah, it definitely could be a trial. But does she really deserve a trial? Like, are they really gonna let her get a trial? Like, they should probably just hack her and kill her off, honestly. She kind of had like her trial, episodes where she was doing like the walk of shame. So I could see them just going straight to killing her. That's kind of what I would do. And last but not least, we have scripts, clips, series, and flicks. It says, you really don't, or he says, sorry, or she, you really don't need to answer this one. Is Tony Stark related to Sansa? Is that how the Stark line will go? Don't think so. Enough of that silliness, but it does bring up a very interesting question. Will the Stark house die off now that their only true heir to carry on the name is Bran? Also, will Gendry get legitimized, or do you think the Baratheon name dies off? Heck, for that matter, will the Lannister line die off? Does the breaking of the will also mean the breaking of these noble houses? So, I actually made a video about this. I'll link it down below, and if I forget to for some reason, definitely just leave a comment and I'll link you to it. It was like the fall of the great houses or something like that. You could probably find it pretty easy. But nonetheless, it says, or I kind of got to the point that I think the Stark house is like right at 50-50. Either Jon will, I don't know, like, I honestly think the Stark house has a good chance of dying off, honestly. I think Jon would probably want to claim the Stark name, but if it's Dany's kid, would it really be a Stark? Probably not. It's a Targaryen. So I think the Stark house will die off because obviously Arya and Sansa are women. They have kids. It'll most likely turn into the male's name. Even though I guess Arya could be like, I don't know, like what's the name? The warrior priest or the warrior princess. I'm not too sure about that, but I feel like the Stark house has a good chance of dying off. Gendry will get legitimized as long as he lives, which I think he will. So the Baratheon name will live on, but the Lannister name, I don't know. Will Tyrion really have a good chance of having kids? Because that's what it's going to come down to, I think. I think Jaime's going to die. Cersei's kid's not going to live. Obviously, all of her kids are already dead. But the Lannisters, I'm sure they probably do have some cousins and stuff, so maybe like not the main part of the Lannister will live on, but I think there's definitely some cousins and stuff that we don't really know about. So I think the Lannister name will live on, the Baratheon name will live on, but the Stark definitely is not looking good for the Starks for sure. But anyways, like I said, that was the last question. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of rambled on some of them, kind of went, fast through some of them. I do apologize, but yeah, I had a blast. Thank you guys so much for all your questions. This has been Lycan Studios. We'll see you in that next one. Definitely let me know what you think is going down with Emilia Clarke's interview. That's going to be like the title of this video, but yeah, definitely weird. But anyways, this has been Lycan Studios. Peace.